What's up, guys? Coach MANdler here, Team Soul Patrol. It's time for an Ask MANdler question, so without further ado, let's get to it. This one comes from Big D. I'm not making this up. Add that to a long list of creative and humorous names that I've fielded Ask MANdler questions for. But anyway, he asks, "Hey Coach, I've been a competitive powerlifter for a few years now, and I'm having trouble with my squat. I do a high bar squat, but I've been experiencing trouble recently both with my shoulders feeling pain and tightness, as well as dumping the bar forward a lot when I bomb on a big weight. What should I do?" Well, Big D, I think there's a couple reasons you might be having these issues, and what I can do for you right now is take a stab at a couple things you can do immediately that will help alleviate this issue and help you start putting up more continuous, consistent, big-ass bar bending squats so you can satisfy your primal urges to strap some big weight on your back and go down and go up. Okay, so first off, you mentioned that you've been a powerlifter for quite a while, so I think it's safe for me to assume that the bench press is a large part of your program. And the reason why I'm talking about your bench press, even though you have squat issues, is this. A lot of times us guys overload our anterior portion of the body, everything we can see in the mirror, and kind of negate what we can't see in the mirror, the posterior portion of our body. And the reason that can be an issue is this, okay? A lot of times when you overdevelop the anterior portion of your body, what's going to happen is your body's going to start to kind of compensate for that, and it's going to get kind of tight. You're going to roll forward. And what's that going to do you think, if you're trying to do a high bar squat, which requires some decent shoulder mobility right here, okay? If you're having issues like that, I'm imagining you're going to have to kind of go wider and even possibly go out here to do a high bar squat. So the first thing I would say is maybe you can start throwing in or start trying doing a low bar squat, okay? That's thing number one that you can do to alleviate this damn problem. Number two, kind of in the same area or same rationale with that issue, with the shoulder tightness and the shoulder pain, is this. Because of that tightness, I'm imagining one of the simplest things you can do is start to address more of the weaknesses that are showing up, and that's going to be your upper back. Because you're overdeveloping your anterior portion of the body and your shoulders are rolling forward, I imagine, making it hard to get into a good high bar squat stance or position with your upper back. What I would do is start throwing in more posterior work. And the posterior work I'm talking about isn't going to be posterior chain like your lower back, your ass, and your hamstrings. I'm talking about upper back work. And that's going to kind of allow you to kind of get into better positions if you're going to stick with a high bar squat. And what you can do simply during your dynamic warm-up is this right here. Get a little band, come across like this, retract your scapula, do about 10, 15 reps of band pull parts like that, 2 to 3 rounds, and I can guarantee you it's going to help you create a little bit more thoracic extension, which is important during the high bar squat and the squat in general, but it's also going to kind of open you up and allow you to get into better positions for a high bar squat. It's probably going to alleviate a lot of the shoulder pain as well. And of course, don't just do those in the dynamic warm-up. Start to, on your upper body days, hit more upper back work and back work in general. I know us dudes like to train everything in the mirror from the waist up, but trust me, your back is there, and when you train it, your numbers in your squat, deadlift, bench press, and overhead will go up, and you're going to look way more jacked. And now, the third thing I would do is this. Because you're a little bit more probably of an advanced lifter, you say you got a couple of years of competitive powerlifting under your belt, what I would start doing is throwing in safety bar squats, okay? Whenever I had really bad shoulder issues during my competitive strongman career from some crazy overhead work and just overtraining and beating the shit out of myself, I always found that squatting with the safety bar was great for allowing me to squat heavy and squat repetitive without having issues with my shoulders, okay? And that's because, and you'll see, I'll attach a video or two of me doing some safety bar squats, but ultimately it's going to allow you to do two things that are going to be pivotal for you to enhance your squat while alleviating a lot of your shoulder pain and also strengthening your upper back so you don't dip the weight forward, okay? That's another reason you're dumping the weight forward. You're probably really weak in your upper back, okay? The squat isn't just about the ass and below. You've got to drive up into the bar as well. That's the other force that's going into the squat. It's not just driving your heels to the ground, it's also driving your upper back up and into the bar. So combining those two are going to be pivotal for you hitting bigger numbers. So what I would do is start to incorporate, if you have the chance, more safety bar squats and do it both in a repetitive and kind of a sub-maximal heavy range, and I can guarantee you're going to alleviate a lot of your your issues dumping the bar forward. And again, make sure you train upper back more so you can get into better positions if you're going to stick with that high bar squat. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a couple clips of me doing some safety bar squats. If you've never done them before, you're going to be all over the place. Trust me, coming out of the hole, you're just kind of having to muscle up because it's a little bit different. But ultimately, it's a great movement that if you throw in, will help alleviate these two major issues that you're having. All right, starting off, I got a 3-rep max on the safety squat. And let me say this, if you've never done a safety squat before, be ready to be humbled because they are absolute beast tamers. Trust me, if you have a 600-pound squat, be ready to be hard-pressed to do 500 on these. It's just something that if you're not used to, it's just a different movement pattern, and you got a weight loaded in a different area, and it's awkward. You're gonna have to muscle it up a lot. And there's not a lot of form coming out of it. You just have to be strong with it, and ultimately it's going to help you twofold, as I mentioned. Number one, if you notice when I did that, and you're going to see it again when I do more repetitive work for those 5 sets of 10 just to get more volume in, my shoulders aren't having to externally rotate like they would in a high bar squat. All right, look at them. They're nice and tucked in a good neutral position that isn't putting a lot of tension on them, okay? Your problem is that you have really tight anterior deltoids done in by essentially you showing more attention to the anterior portion of your torso than the posterior portion. So this will immediately make it to where that pain is not an issue because you're not stressing it or stretching it during the squat. And the second reason these are going to be so beneficial for you is it's going to prevent you from bailing or dumping the weight forward because of how much it addresses strengthening your upper back. That's going to be big for your squat and even your deadlift. Hey guys, if you have any shoulder pain or problems dumping the bar forward whenever you're squatting, hopefully this video helped out. If you've got any other questions that you want me to answer in an Ask MANdler video, then be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Like the video so I know I'm hooking you up with what you're looking for, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the free kick-ass tips and routines that I'll be hooking you up with here. And if you're looking to take your strength, size, muscularity, and explosiveness to the next level, then be sure to pick up your free copy of the Muscle Building Blueprint by simply clicking on that button right there. When you do, I'll take you to the next page, which breaks down everything you're going to be getting with this kick-ass free gift, as well as what you need to do in order to allow me to email it directly to your inbox without you spending a single penny. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. MANdler